Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. Oh, they got him this time, they got him good. Donald Trump is definitely finished this time. It's a never-ending, repeating cycle. Here we go again. What's the latest Donald Trump conspiracy this time? What's the latest Donald Trump report that the media is telling us is a definite smoking gun, but it ends up turning out to be a complete nothing burger that they're intentionally misrepresenting? Well, it's another leaked recording of Donald Trump, remember the last one, that supposedly was the final nail in the coffin in Donald Trump's classified documents case. You know, that recorded conversation that Jack Smith didn't even include in his indictment? Yeah, that's the thing that was gonna take Donald Trump down back then. Now we got another, this time related to Fani Willis's Georgia case. Supposedly, there's now a leaked recording of Donald Trump engaging in schemes to overthrow the government. Except that's not at all what it is. CNN is lying, as per usual. So let's take a look and have a conversation. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, real hard-hitting reports going at CNN. The walls are closing in on the evil, bad orange man.
A significant report just crossing tonight that I want to share with you, just coming out, saying that then President Trump is actually recorded on tape. And he is recorded on tape pressuring two Republican members of the Wayne County canvassers, most populous county in Michigan, not to certify the 2020 presidential election. Now, this is a phone call, according to a phone call on November 17th, 2020. Trump is on the phone call, right? So Trump's on the phone call with just people certifying an election in a state. And he's telling the two Republicans that they'd look, quote, terrible if they signed the certification, adding, quote, we've got to fight for our country. We can't let these people take our country away from us. Later saying you take care of lawyers for them. According to this report, which is just breaking, the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel, was also on the call and then told the two canvassers, quote, if you can go home tonight, do not sign it. We will get you attorneys. And that's when Trump replied, quote, we'll take care of that. Craig Mauger, who broke this story, is for the Detroit News, joins me on the phone. Craig, I just had a chance here to read this as this is crossing your breaking news. I just want to emphasize here, this is at best time the President of the United States on tape, recorded for 4 minutes of a longer exchange, talking, pressuring these individuals. You've heard much of this tape. Can you tell us what you hear Trump say?
What I heard listening to the audio of this conversation was the then President of the United States encouraging, pressuring, contending, arguing in favor of these two Republican county canvassers not signing the certification of the 2020 election for Wayne County. Wayne County is a Democratic stronghold in Michigan, and it's the state's largest county as well.
You know, it's funny how we have such different perspectives. You know, there's some people out there who will watch that segment, that little CNN segment, and actually buy into this crap. Donald Trump was attempting to interfere in the Wayne County election. It's proof of an insurrection and an attempted overthrow of the government, the fake electors scheme. Except no, not at all. You know, it feels as though some of us are just watching different movies. I watched that whole CNN report even beyond what I showed you guys in that little trimmed down clip, and the entire time, just like with Letitia James's case, I was scratching my head, questioning, well, what exactly is the big controversy here? The assertion or the assumption is that Donald Trump betrayed his oath to office and betrayed the Constitution, attempting to strong-arm his way into office by launching a scheme to overthrow the election. Illegally, I mean, that's the implication, right? But how is any of it illegal if Donald Trump and his team were attempting to legally challenge the results based on the quotes, based on the way that the phone call was presented there by CNN? It seems like a complete nothing burger. You have Trump saying, I'll pay the legal fees, let's challenge this thing, we need to save the country. It seems to me as though Donald Trump at the time felt as though it was his presidential duty to fight against something that he thought was happening, something he believed was happening, and so he was trying to put together a legal challenge. The claim is that he acted illegally and unconstitutionally. By doing what exactly? Attempting to follow every law and challenge states through the legal process thereof? Fundamentally, the supposed controversy here doesn't make any sense to me. What is Trump guilty of exactly? Having an opinion on a thing? Believing that something deeply wrong and undemocratic happened, and attempting to pursue all legal action to challenge and find answers? How does that make you guilty of insurrection? We know there's a proper legal process to challenging election results that's built into the system. Even Van Jones admitted that. I'll play that infamous clip every time.
Because of all this alleged fraud or or interference from a foreign power. Any of this stuff could create such a mess in the Electoral College and the Congress that the whole matter just winds up in front of the House of Representatives for the first time since the 1800s. The final tally in the House is taken not by delegate, but by delegation. In other words, individual Congress people don't get to vote. It's done by states. Now, get your head wrapped around this. In 2020, the majority of Americans live in blue states, but there are more red states. So there's a possibility that the Republicans in the House of Representatives could just anoint their candidate to be president, even without the popular vote or a majority in Electoral College. That could happen. Now, some people would call that outcome a perfectly legal, perfectly constitutional coup against the very idea of majority rule in the United States.
So you have CNN 3 years ago telling us that yes, there's a legal process of challenging election results, and now fast forward today as they're attempting to paint this narrative of Trump criminality. Apparently, attempting to challenge election results is now illegal, unconstitutional, and should be classified as insurrection. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And another question I have, if this supposed leaked recording is so incredibly damning, if it's such a big deal, such a big smoking gun, the next Trump scandal, then why hasn't Ronna McDaniel been arrested? Supposedly, she was on the call with Donald Trump, even advocating for the exact same thing. Should Ronna McDaniel now be charged with insurrection, disruption of official proceedings, attempting to overthrow the government? Should Ronna McDaniel be facing charges under the RICO Act? No, of course not. That'll never happen because that treatment is reserved specifically for Donald Trump during election seasons. What's on my mind right now is the concept of once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's really what it is. Once you see the media dishonesty, once you see the games that they play, the repeating patterns, the way they're constantly omitting context or omitting key information, presenting these nothing burger stories in purposely manipulated ways to make the audience think as if it's this big thing, this big massive scandal. Their evil tactics are on display every day, or at least every week. There's a new fake news, bogus story every single week, which always swings one way and tends to always be perfectly timed. It's to either line up directly with an election or to line up directly as a distraction from a much more important story that we should be discussing. The tactics are clear. You can see exactly what they're doing, the game they're playing. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The big story this week is that Donald Trump attempted to challenge the results of an election through whatever legal means were available around him. Ooh, spooky. How is democracy going to survive? Anyways, that's the video. That's what's going on at CNN these days. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.